And the reason, that we have this orientation is mainly because of that, right? We want to, get all of you, aware, right? To let all of you know of what's going to happen, right, in this new academic year. And especially, with the plan, all right, with the implementation of the new approach, right, to our teaching and learning, which is blended learning mode. Okay. So in this orientation today, we're going to go through some of the, important informations, right? Some of the things which we expect you to know and to follow, all right? So that you can also fulfill those requirements, right? Those things, to, meet our expectation, and also to the point which, you can also benefit from the program as well. Okay, so now, right, I can show you that these are our contents. So these are the points that we're going to cover today. Right. So without further ado, everyone, I now would like to invite our head of department, right, Dr. Kuchanarut, to share his welcome remarks, right, to welcome all of you to our new academic year, right, in this orientation. Okay, so would love to invite Dr. Kuchanarut. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pirun. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the new academic year 2022 and 2023. Okay. Now, if you look back, you might agree with me that the time is really quick, right? So you now become the senior for the bachelor degree program, and it's also time for you to choose your to study your major that you think can help you shape your future career. And it also depends on your preferences and natural talent. Some people really aim to be teachers of English, while some others aim for working in various NGOs and companies, and while others will be pursuing the government position in the future. Okay. Right. So today is my great honor to give this short remark on our new academic year. Okay. I think everyone knows that the COVID-19 pandemic has already probably come to almost the end, but we will never know what might happen in the future. So to all year 3 students for the last academic year, you were only online. Now you come back to school. But before we go on, I'd like to share with you some of our experiences with the students who have already come back to face-to-face or physical classrooms in the last semester. In the last semester, we experienced some of the closures of the classroom while we were back to our physical classroom. First, our policy was that if only one student request or inform us about his or her positive COVID-19, we allowed that student to stay, permission to leave the class for 1 week, because we found that 1 week, could be enough for a person to recover. But then what we experienced that when one student in a class, um, requested a leave form due to the positive COVID-19, infection, then just 1 or 2 days later, we found the report from the class monitors that 2 or 3 students now receive such symptoms and would like to ask us to move the class back to online. So then we decided to move back the class to online. And we did that very often with different classes, like alternatively year 1 and year 2 classes all together. So yes, then recently we received the um, strong recommendation from our leaders, the IFL leaders and the OUPP leaders, that we should go on with the new normal way of working and learning, meaning that um, we should avoid crowd in on campus. Now, I'd like to let you know that the Department of English alone has offered, like if we combine all the students from year 0 BC program to year 4 program, we have around almost 3,000 students. So if all students are here on campus at the same time, then the campus would be very crowded. So our leaders strongly suggest that we should have a blended mode for our new academic year. So having said that, um, any blended mode must be operated carefully. Um, we don't want our student to stay online very long and come to school um, just once and then stay online. So we decided that that's what I'd like to let you know. We decided that year 4 students start or commence their classes on campus first for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks they will go online another 2 weeks, and then they come back on campus another 2 weeks. So the class will be blended, 2 weeks, alternatively, is what I'm trying to say. So while you are on campus, year 3 students will be online. So when you are online, year 3 student will be on campus. So when year 2 commence their classes, they will join this kind of blended learning. So for example, while year 4 are on campus, year 2 are also on campus, year 3 and year 1 are online. So when year 4 and year 2 are online, year 3 and year 1 are on campus. So to avoid crowdedness at at just once in on the campus. So that's uh, what we try to do. And we also want the year 4 students to start the class like here early October, so that all year 4 students will have graduated around August, like this year, so that you can have like your temporary degree and transcript um, on time for any possible scholarship application or any employment examination to become the government official. So that's what we have thought, and we try our best to 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 work out such blended mode, and the blended mode in cooperation with the flipped classroom model. So there are a lot of benefits that our student you know might receive from such blended modes. First of all, um, um, we are now in the post-COVID-19, but then we don't know what might happen in the future. As you are aware now, there are a lot of things happen in the European countries, European continent, the Western world. So you can see wars, you can see the phenomena. Um, Recently, or at the moment, the United States and some countries close to the United States, um, suffer from the Hurricane Ian, and we see a lot of rains in Vietnam, in Philippines, also in our country, Cambodia. The floods almost many places in our countries as well. You see a lot of things happen, and we don't know what might happen, like COVID-19, or what happened. Do we have like David 20, CO-C19, so we can have David 20. I'm not quite sure from any lab. We don't know. So the best way is to be ready for that. And the Department of English historically, was trying to train our students even before the pandemic, the online learning. So in 2017, 2018, I think you were in year one maybe, or you haven't started at the Department of English yet. But if you started, maybe you were year one, I guess. So we already implemented blended learning with the higher education department in one subject, writing skill. And then later, we expanded our practice of blended learning with other subject. So by then, our blended learning took place with the combination of online classroom on campus and then off campus. So when it is off campus, the students don't need to come to school. They can study from everywhere they like. And then in one semester, we had like 4 week off. So they came to school only only 11 weeks. Then the COVID-19 came, we moved all classroom to online. And in the online mode, we also had synchronous, where your lecturers and you attended the meeting call through the MS Team, and also the asynchronous, where when your lecturer gave you tasks to do, and you complete the task with your group, either online from different places, or you gather together at any comfortable place to you to complete such tasks. So we did that, and we found out like we quite contented with the quite satisfied with the practice of online. Now we come back, and then to be ready, we started to implement the blended learning in cooperation with the flipped classroom model. And one more thing that you gain the benefit from the blended is that you learn the new normal way, meaning that in the digital, working in a digital age, which is now required by almost all the government everywhere, the digital age, and now they don't just go with 4G, they go to 5G, for example. And then before the COVID-19, if you had the online degree, they wouldn't probably accept it. So I had experienced that. I had one lecturers who applied for teaching, and then he got an online degree overseas. It's like a sandwich program where he took some courses in the overseas university, and then some courses in Cambodia. So it's a blended sandwich online sandwich program. And then when I discussed the rate for this lecturer, and I said that because the degree is online, so the rate must not be equal to those who get the degree on campus. And I was trying to argue for the same equal rate, but I was not successful. So thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic that has opened our eyes, now online degree, online learning has been placed in the policy. So our Cambodian citizens have started to study master degree online, PhD degree online, because it's convenient. While they can stay with their family, they can work and they can study. They go onto the target university once for a while for presentation or for workshop meeting, and then coming back, and then at the end going to that university to defend the research, for example, and then the degree is already accepted. So that's amazing. So this kind of blended learning will pave the way for you to adopt yourself to learn in the new normal. And the new normal here is even more, the meaning is more special to the teaching 21st century. So before they were talking about teaching in the 21st century, but now they say teaching in the new normal, learning in the new normal, working in the new normal way. So I hope that the experience of the blended learning with the flipped classroom will give you more option, more alternative to achieve your degree. Without any delay, I'd like to thank all of you very much for your valuable time on Saturday to join us to get to know, to be ready for that. So next, Mr. Pirun will give you more details about the new academic year and probably what we expect from you and what you expect from us, for example. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Pirun, the floor is yours.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. Kujanerat, for sharing your insightful thoughts on the implementation of blended learning in this new academic year with our students. All right, so I believe most of or all of us here now are kind of better in terms of what we are expected to do in this new academic year. Because before the start of this orientation, when we made the announcements that we're going to implement the blended learning mode, right, for your group, right, year 4 students, I received some messages, right, from the students asking how this blended learning mode is going to be implemented. How is it like? Is it similar to the online learning classes, or is it like half online, half on campus? So now Dr. Kujanerat probably has cleared that out, right? That for this blended learning mode, right, we're going to study for 2 weeks on campus and 2 weeks online. Okay, online, right? So we keep doing that until the end of the semester, right? And Dr. Kujanerat also has shared with us, the benefits of blended learning, all right? Why, we should embrace this new normal way of learning, instead of coming to, class, sitting in the traditional classroom, like, we probably were doing, the past few 10 years, right, 20 years, right now. COVID has came in, and I think COVID has changed, the way we live, the way we work, and the way we study a lot. But those changes somehow should be something that we can look back and see, well, those are the type of change, which should be happening, because we're living in a more and more digital world, where technologies, cannot be separated from us, right? So the implementation of this blended learning mode, it seems to be one thing, which could be beneficial, for all of you. You are going to graduate not just with the knowledge of the subjects, of the contents in the major that you're pursuing, but at the same time, you are packed with the knowledge, about the technologies, how to use the technologies, how to use Microsoft Team. I believe once you graduate and then you go to apply for some organizations, in the future, they're gonna be they're gonna ask you whether or not you know how to use Microsoft Team, right? Zoom, all right, and with that, you're gonna have everything ready, all right, preparing you for the future endeavor, especially your future career. Okay, all right. So now, all right, I'm going to continue from Dr. Generich, sharing with you some more important informations about the implementation of blended learning mode, right, with all of you, right, in this new academic year, and also some rules and regulations, the things that I believe, should revisit, right? Maybe those points are the things that you've been introduced to, right, since year one until year three, but maybe some of them, are worth revisiting again as well, right? So I'm going to cover them too. Okay, right. So first point that I'm going to, share with you is, what is blended learning. So yeah, I think this one has been answered already. Okay, so it's on-campus and off-campus learning, and here's the timeline, that we're gonna follow. Right, so you can look at the screen and see that for the first 2 weeks, right, during the first 2 weeks, okay, right, week number one and week number two, right here, right, you're gonna be coming to school, right? So you need to come to school, study on campus, okay? And after the first 2 weeks, all right, week number three and week number four, you're gonna go online, okay? Going online means you're gonna need to attend the class, but not in the physical class, but in the Microsoft Team classrooms, okay? So I'm going to create the Microsoft Team classrooms and add all of you in your respective classes. So, once we kicked off the online learning weeks, right, you're ready, right? You know where to go. Okay, and we're gonna keep doing that, until the end of the semester, right? 2 weeks on campus, 2 weeks online, back to on campus again, and then online, right? And then on campus, right? And regarding the examination, that will be confirmed later, whether that's gonna be online or on campus. But I somehow can share with you, I'm kind of confident that it's gonna be on campus, except for another, say, major outbreak of COVID-19 again. But hopefully that's not gonna happen. Okay, so that's the timeline, right, of the blended learning, right? And then moving on to the next point, right, which is the assessment. Okay, the assessment, how you're gonna be evaluated. I don't think this is gonna be different, from how you're gonna be assessed, in the either full online class or full on campus class, which you experienced last year. Okay, so the assessment is, going to be 60%, for the ongoing assessment, which includes, those assessment tools like quizzes, tests, homework, assignments, like presentation, group project, right? Those are the things you need to complete, and they're assigned by your teachers, okay? And you need to fulfill all of them to ensure that you're going to obtain, some proportion of this overall 60%, of the ongoing assessment. All right, and then you're gonna sit for the examination, all right, which again, yeah, that should be your on-campus examination. Okay, so for the ongoing assessment, some of them, because we are gonna study, for 2 weeks on campus and 2 weeks online, we're Microsoft team. There could be chance, that your teachers, your subject lecturers, might choose to have, quizzes, online quizzes, for example. They may even have online tests. It's all up to your teachers, how they want to administer all of these ongoing assessments. Okay. But what I would like to emphasize on is that even though these things, are going to be either administered, online or on campus, you all are still expected, to complete them, to do all of these, let's say tests or quizzes without any forms of, for example, cheating, without plagiarizing the work, without copying the work from one another. Okay, because you should be aware that we really, really emphasize on the importance of students' integrity. Not cheating, right? Not copying the answers, from online resources or from one another. Okay, and if that's caught, right, that's found, your performance will be severely affected. Okay, which I'm going to mention a little later regarding that, right? So what I'm another point, regarding this is that with the blended learning mode, these assessment tools, will still be in place, and they will still be administered, to the degree that they can ensure you all are gonna, complete them without any uh, form of undesired behavior. Okay, all right, and moving on, right, to the next point, that's concerns with your class participation. Okay. Maybe I believe you all have experience, online learning for a while. Since you were in year one, right? Guys, since you were in year one, right? You already got to experience the online learning, right? Which means you are very experienced, with online learning. Okay, and saying you're very experienced with online learning, I believe, or I hope, right, not the majority, but maybe some of you, were kind of also experienced in not, taking part in the class participation, classroom engagement, because it was online. Okay, maybe some of you, right? Maybe some of you, used to experience, joining the class or joining the call, right? Joining the call, clicking on the link. We see that your name is there, but you're actually not in the class, right? You're actually somewhere else, or you're actually doing something else, not really paying attention to your classroom lecturers, okay, to the lectures, to the presentation by your friends, okay? And we don't want that to happen, we don't want that to happen. And we want to ensure that, in this blended learning mode, students will actively involve, in the classroom activities, either, in the on campus, right, physical classrooms, or in the Microsoft Teams. Okay, because you need to be aware that the classroom participation, is a very important, element, to your learning success. You can learn only when you engage, you can improve your speaking only when you try to speak more with your friends. You can improve your presentation skills only when you try to find the opportunity to share, right, to talk in the class. Okay. Class participation, is also a part of the overall assessment. For some subjects, we make it was like 5%, of the overall assessment, 5 free points. I'm saying free because you don't really need to review. You don't really need to, learn, the vocabularies, learn the key term or learn the series as if, you were taking a test or a quiz. But by just trying to show to your teacher that you're a part of the class, you're contributing to the class, you're doing your tasks, in the class, your teachers, will give you, right, some subjects, 5 points, and some subjects, you might get 10 points, for just your classroom participation. Okay, and the scores, could be very important. 1 or 2 marks could determine, whether you pass or you have to repeat, right? And yeah, please be noted that in year 4, right, when you're in year 4, right now, yes, you are in year 4. For the first semester, yes, if you fail a subject, you still have chance to sit for the supplementary exam. But, if it is in the second semester, if you fail a subject, that means you're going to have to repeat, that subject. So you cannot graduate. Okay. And we don't want that to happen. We want each and every one of you to graduate all together, at the end of this academic year. So, every single marks, every single points, should be something that you, try your best, to grab them, to get them. Okay. So by just trying to show your teachers that you're active, right? You're active, right? You pay enough attention in the class. You share. You contribute. That means you are gonna obtain these points, right? Already. Okay, and not just in the physical class, right? That should happen also during the online sessions, right? During the online sessions. So your teachers, will try to see if you're actually in the class, right? You're actually listening to the group, right? You're actually sharing the ideas. Okay, so for example, whenever I put my students, into group discussion, what I would always do was to go to those individual groups and see, if each and every one of the group members are actually, is actually doing something or not. Okay. And then sometime once in a while, I try calling, out the names, if sometimes I suspect that this particular student, is not actually in the class, I might just call the name and sometimes, you don't see any response, and that's going to mean, not really attending the class, and that's going to affect, the classroom participation score. Okay, so we want, the classroom participation to be high, be it, on campus or online. Okay, and that requires a lot of effort, and we need your willingness, right? Your commitment, to taking your part, right? To doing your roles. Okay. Okay, right. And then another important matter, right, regarding the success of your study, right, for this academic year is, the attendance. Okay, it's again, it's another same issue, right, which has been addressed, to you, I believe, for at least 3 times, year 1, year 2, and year 3. But this should not be overlooked, right? Because attendance issue is still very important, because we strictly implement the attendance policy. We don't go lenient with the attendance of our students. If you do not attend the class regularly, and then you fail to fulfill the required attendance percentage, you're gonna fail the course, right? So you have to be aware that if you fail the attendance, you cannot go on, right? You have to resit or retake the course. Okay, it's unlike when you fail the examination, you can sit for the supplementary test, right, in the semester one. But for the attendance, right, if you fail the attendance for any particular subject, that means you have to repeat the course. Okay, so sometimes a student, they do very well, their performance in the class is so good, they can complete, can fulfill all the tasks, at a very satisfying level, but they just don't attend the class regularly. And, at the end of the day, you fail the subject, all right, because you are not able to achieve, the required attendance percentage. All right, so what I'm sharing with you here on the screen is the attendance policy for scholarship students. Okay, if there are any of you here, who are the scholarship student, so we have TM subject, for example, right? You are allowed to be absent, right, with leave for 8 times, right? 8 sessions, okay, 8 sessions with leave, and 5 sessions without leave. Okay, by the word session means, let's say, for example, if it is a 3-hour class, right, that means there are 2 sessions over there. Okay, so if you are absent from the class for 1 day, that means you have used 2 absence already. Okay, if it is without leave, right, if it is with leave, right, that's another 2 sessions. Okay, and in order for you as a scholarship student, right, to pass the subject, right, you need to fulfill this 80% required attendance percentage. Okay, so that means you cannot be absent for more than 5 times with 5 sessions without leave. Okay, so 1 absent without leaves is equivalent to 4%. Okay, so 4 multiplied by 5, that's 20. So if you go beyond the 5 allowed absence without leave, you're gonna automatically fail the subject. Okay, for FETLAM, okay, 4 sessions with leave, 3 sessions without leave, right? So 7 sessions in total that you're allowed to be away from the class, right? To be absent from the class, right? 80% as well, right? TM, 402, okay, 5 times, 5 sessions, right, with leave, right? 4 sessions without leave, okay? In the second semester, these, subjects for SO, right? EP and SS, I hope you have already done some research and know, what this code, right, course code refers to. For example, TM, right? I hope you know what it refers to, right? Right, SL, right? What does it refer to? Okay, and right, you should learn, first of all, right, before we start the semester, maybe you start learning the name of the subject. Okay, all right. So yeah, for SL, for EP, right, for SS, okay, you're gonna be allowed to be absent with leave for 3 times, okay, and 2 times without leave. Okay, all right, and the fee paying program, this should apply to the majority of you here. Okay, so your attendance percentage is required attendance percentage is 70%. Okay, so a little bit better, right, compared to your scholarship friends, right? Because you pay food money, right? Whereas they don't. Okay, so yeah, maybe the required percentage is less serious, right, compared to them, but still, right, but still, if you're not careful, with your attendance, if you're not careful with how you know come to class, how you take leave, you still risk failing the subject. All right, you still risk having to repeat the course. Right. So for all of you, right, when it comes to the attendance, you know, what I would like to remind, or what I would like to, you know, let you start thinking about is, you know, maybe for this academic year, right, it should be the critical, you know, the most important year, because, you know, it's the time for you to graduate. Okay, so you need to take care of your own attendance record, you know, very, very seriously, right? So maybe you should start, you know, taking note of how many times, you know, you've been absent from TM subjects, right? And then, you know, later on, if you have to be absent again, you know, you're going to look at the note and you know, okay, I can still be absent, right? Because I haven't, you know, reached the limit, right, just yet. Okay. Sometimes you can ask your teachers, right? You are lecturers about that, but you know, sometimes they probably are not always able to, you know, update you, to share with you know, your attendance record, right? Maybe only until the end of the semester, you know, that they start counting, they start calculating your attendance, that they find out that you have already failed, you know, the attendance. So to be safe, right? Maybe it's good for you to do that by yourself. You know, start making a record of, you know, your own number of sessions that you've been absent from a particular subject. Okay, and yes, always revisit this, right? So that you know how many times you are entitled, right, to be absent from a particular subject. Okay. Okay, and it's unavoidable, right? It's not possible, you know, for you to be always be available for class, right? There are times that you have to be absent because it's an urgent matter. It's a very important matter. You know, you get sick, so you have to be absent. Okay, so we understand that, and for that, you know, we allow you to, you know, fill in the leave form, right, and apply for the absent with leave. Okay, because the absent with leave means your attendance percentage will not be affected. All right. So if you are absent from a class with leave, your attendance percentage will not be affected. Right? We deduct your attendance percentage only when, you know, you go absent without any permission from your teacher. Okay. All right, so in order to apply for that, okay, we have the leave form, right? So you have the leave form. So you need to fill in the leave form before and after. You know that, you should know that already. And late arrival request form, if, you know, you have to be late for, you know, every day, especially those in the evening, you know, if you work somewhere and then, you know, from your workplace to school is rather far, right? Rather far for you to arrive to school on time, you know, for the class at 5:30. You're allowed, you know, to fill in this late arrival request form, right, and submit it to me. And then, you know, we'll see your situation whether or not to approve, right? And if, you know, your request is approved, that means your teacher, you know, will not penalize, you know, your lateness for the class. Okay, because 3Ls, right? If you're late for the class for 3 times, that means one absent without leave. Okay. The leave form, right? I hope, you know, this doesn't happen with all of you, right? Because you're already in year 4, but still, you know, there are those students who probably don't know, you know, how to write the leave form appropriately just yet. Okay, so for all of you, right, whenever you need to fill in the leave form, okay, you need to make sure that your leave form is written in a formal way. Okay, so it's a formal kind of letter. You know, you're asking for understanding, you're requesting for you know, the forgiveness on your absent from a class from your teacher. So how you write it should be appealing enough, you know, should be in a way that when your teacher looks at it, your teacher feels, okay, this is acceptable, right? Instead of, you know, sometimes you probably just start by, you know, filling in your leave form, which is one sentence, okay, which is one sentence, and submit it to your teacher. And, you know, if I were your teacher, all right, and I am, you know, gonna be teachers for some of you here too, right? If you're gonna submit me, you know, that sort of leave form, you know, that's gonna be accepted, right? It's not gonna be approved, okay? Because, you know, I could consider this as, you know, as a rude, right? It's so rude, right? Okay, so you need to follow this sample, you know, how a form should be written, and yeah, you can get access to all the leave forms, you know, through this QR code, right? You can scan it and, you know, see the sample leave form, right? Just in case you don't know how to do it, right? But I believe, again, you know, you should, most of you here, right, should know how to do it, right, correctly already. All right, and in addition to this, long leave form. Okay, sometimes you have to be absent, right, for several days, right, for several days, probably because, you know, you have a mission to somewhere, you get an exchange program to somewhere, okay, you get sick, so you cannot come to class, you have to stay in the hospital for a few days. So for any, you know, for any absent, you know, that you have to be away from the class, right, for more than one day, you know, you have to, right, you have to fill in the long leave request. Okay, you have to fill in the long leave request and submit it to me, right, in room E1.3. Okay, so in front of the room E1.3, there's a box where you can drop your long leave request. Okay, but when you submit the long leave request, make sure that you're gonna attach it with, all right, you're gonna attach it with the supporting documents. Like, say if you have a mission, right, attach the mission letter, right, with your long leave. Right, if you are sick, right, attach the you know, medical document, right, the doctor's letters, right, so we know that, okay, you're really sick, right, you're not just making it up. Okay, so when you apply for the long leave, that means, you know, when your leave is approved, your attendance percentage, you know, will be deducted, but okay, but you know, at the minimal rate, you know, compared to you being absent from the class for several days, you know, without the long leave. Okay, so if again, right, if you have to be away from the class for more than one day, right, you have to, right, you have to fill in the long leave, right, request form. Right. Okay, right. Another point here, all right, another point here, which is actually related to what I mentioned earlier, which was about the assessments. Okay, so you have to ensure, all right, that there won't be any form of cheating, all right, or plagiarism, you know, in your completion of all the tasks, right, all of the tasks required by your subject teachers. Okay, even though, again, even though during the online classes, okay, you have to ensure that you're gonna try to complete everything with your own ability, right? With your own ability. Okay. So if you're found, if you're caught cheating, right? If you're caught plagiarizing the work, you know, your work will be invalidated. All right. As shown here, it's the you know, cheating policy for the examination, right? During the examination, if you're caught attempting to cheat, first time is a warning. Right? If then after that you still try to cheat, you know, first time it's a 50% deduction. All right, and the second one, you know, you still persist doing that, your paper will be invalidated, right? So you're gonna be failing, right, the subject, okay, because you don't have the examination. Okay, right. Next one, right? The dressing code. Okay, because you still have to come to school, for 2 weeks, right? Especially next week. Yeah, next week, right? It's a kicked off of your first time, right, back in school. Okay, so you have to follow, the dressing code, right, that we have here. So for the morning and afternoon shift students, okay, you have to wear the uniforms, right, and uniforms, that we have. You all are aware already, right, that for ladies, you need to have the skirts, which are below your knee, and the white shirt, right? And for gentlemen, right, you're gonna have to wear your trousers, okay, and yeah, your shirt, right, your white shirt. Sometimes you want to tuck it in, right? But we don't make the yeah, tucking of the shirt, a requirement. But you might want to look more handsome, when you do that. All right. But, we want everyone to, follow this strictly. All right. We don't want any other types of dressing, which, could affect, the look of or the beauty of our yeah department, right, our university. Everyone look the same, everyone looks nice and clean, right, neat and clean. So yeah, you need to wear the uniforms. Okay, so that's for the morning and afternoon shift students. Whereas for the evening shift students, yes, you don't have the uniform requirement. Okay, you don't need to wear the uniform, but that doesn't mean you can wear whatever you want, right? You have to make sure that you're gonna dress, appropriately, right? You're gonna dress in a way that is acceptable, that is suitable for a classroom context, for a university context. So you have to, all right, avoid, these are some of the types of dressing which we strongly prohibit. We don't allow, these types of dressing, all right, on our campus, be it for morning or afternoon or evening shift students. Okay, so you're gonna need to make sure that no jeans. Okay, you wear no jeans right to school. uh, Male and female alike, right? No jeans. Okay, especially we have these like torn jeans, right? So not allowed. Okay, not allowed. Okay, flip flops. All right, no flip flops, right? In class. Okay, could make some noise, right? In the class, right? When you wear flip flop, right? Especially when you walk. Right, just kidding, right? Just that it doesn't look right, to wear flip flop to class. All right, so flip flops are not also allowed. Shorts, okay, especially for evening shift students. We sometimes once in a while, we get to see some students wearing shorts to school, but that shouldn't happen. All right, that should not happen at all. Okay, the skirt, all right, skirt uh, below your knees, right? The length of the skirt, has to be below your knee. Okay, has to be appropriate. Okay, so you cannot wear this type of skirt to school. Okay, so if you violate these types of dressing code, right, your teachers, right, your subject teachers have the rights to ask you not to get into the class. Okay, so you have to go back home and change if you want to come to school. You want to come back and study, right? Otherwise, you're not allowed to be in the class. Okay, or sometimes if you see, maybe even I myself, for example, if I get to see you wearing these, maybe we can also ask you to go and get changed as well. Okay, because again, these are not allowed on campus, right? So we hope you understand, and you're not gonna uh, have such a mistake, right? Especially with the new academic year starting in 2 days, right? In 2 days. Okay. With the t-shirt, right? With the t-shirt, um, you can wear the t-shirt with the collars on, right? T-shirt with the collars, okay, that's fine, right? But t-shirts without collars, that should not be allowed. And sometimes, the t-shirts are designed with some aggressive, with some excessive languages. They write those sort of languages, on the t-shirt. That should not be, allowed as well, right? So you can't, okay, wear those types of t-shirts, to school, right? So with the dress codes, right, I believe, yeah, if you are able to avoid all of these, you should be fine. You should be already fine, coming to school, right, sitting in the class without being, again, asked, to leave, right? Okay, right. And one more point, traffic rules on campus, right? Maybe uh, this is something which not the majority of you here, right? Which is not the message for the majority of you, but I hope, right, it's for none of you, but maybe it still applies to some of you, right? So yeah, I just want to address, this issue again as well. Okay, so once you ride your motorbike or your bicycle, or right, drive your car to the campus, right, we expect you to, do that in a way that, that's gonna be safe, for you yourself as well as for everyone, right? So that means you probably don't drive too fast, you don't drive recklessly, okay? You have to always, respect the traffic light, right? There's one traffic light, at the exit of our school, and it's so unfortunate that I, oftentimes, get to see some of our students, violating the traffic light. We all educated people, right? You're all in year 4, right? You're about to graduate, becoming the driving force, of our country, the human resources of a country. But, you know, just respecting, the traffic light, is a problem. It's something that still you cannot do it, properly. So don't, all right, don't violate, the traffic light, especially the one in front of our campus, not necessarily just that one, anywhere, right? Because you need to remember, when you leave, right, the campus, somehow you represent, all of us, right? You represent, hey, that's IFL student, violating the traffic light, right? So that should not be good, right, for each and every one of us, right? Um, you have to always, respect the right side of the road, all right, especially, at this roundabout, right? So when I mentioned this roundabout, I believe, some of you here uh, know what I'm going to talk about, okay? All right. So at this roundabout, we uh, happen to have or to see, the problems, happening again and again, with our students, driving, how they navigate around this one. Okay. So yeah, this is away from your parking lot, right? You're gonna come out from your parking lot, all right, and then you're gonna need to go in this direction, all right? Which again, the majority of you have been doing this, right? So you're gonna come out from the parking lot and you go in this direction, okay, around the roundabout. And then if you, need to go to the exit, yep, so, right, you're gonna go around just like this, right? It's as simple as this, right? As simple as this one, okay? Just respect the right side, of the road, right? So you need to go around the roundabout before you can go to the exit. Okay. and that's what we expect you to do. Okay. However, there've been times, right? Again and again, right? We still see, some of our students, all right, violating this, right? Violating this simple thing, all right? Violating this simple thing. So instead of going, in this direction, some of you instead, go, yeah, or take this shortcut, right? Take this shortcut. Okay, so coming out from your parking lot, right? You instead, go into this shortcut, right? And here you go, right? So it saves you some time, but very bad image, very bad image, especially for you as a student, right? Again, I believe this doesn't apply to all of you, right? And just I hope, right, none of you, has ever done this. But if you have ever done this, please, right, don't repeat it, right? Especially, we've got a fresh start of this new academic year coming up in 2 days. So for this whole academic year, right, you're not gonna commit, right, such a crime, right, again, right? So try to, just easy, right? It's easy, to just do this. For one, it's not, it doesn't look good. For two, it could be also risky, it could be also dangerous, because, you're taking the shortcut, and then that could lead to, some sort of accident, for example, with people coming from this way, they might not see you, right? When you come out of this one, right? Directly. Okay, all right. So, here comes should be the last part of my presentation, with all the points that I've shared with you. And now I believe, we should be able to understand each other better, in terms of, what we're going to be doing, during this blended online learning mode, right, for this new academic year, and what we also expect you to follow, what we expect you to fulfill as good students, as good students, good citizens. All right, just some simple things, uh, um, we all can fulfill, we all can follow, and together, we can go on this journey together successfully. And our destination is next year, right? You will graduate, we're gonna host, I'm gonna be the one preparing, say, for example, your mock graduation, right? So we want each and every one of you to be wearing the gown, to be enjoying your graduation next year, right? Now that we understand each other from here, that should be a good start. Okay, so for any other related information, right, to your study, to your journey, right, in this new academic year, right, year four, especially we're gonna have a lot of things to work together. Year four students, say for example for the B.Ed students, right, you and I will be working together a lot regarding your practicum. For IB students, for example, you will have to go on some field trips. So we will need to work together, all right? A lot, all right? So if you have more concern, more question, if you have any other things related to your study, yes, feel free to approach me. So I'm your new bachelor's programs coordinator. My contact details are there. All right, feel free to choose one and reach out to me. Or if you want to see me in person, you can come right to this room. All right, E1.3. All right, and yes, right, we're gonna work together, right? Work together toward your problem if you have any. Okay, all right. So here comes the end of my part, and we've come to the Q&A session. All right, if you have any question, right, you can ask. Okay, our head of department, right, Dr. Kuchanarit is here, and yeah, he will have answer your question. Yes, please, Janita?
Greeting lecturers. I have a question relating to suspension. So in
Hmm.
cases that I need, hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I
Yes, yes.
can.
I want to ask question relating to suspension. So, for example, I only get to finish semester two during the year four. Is it possible to suspend semester two and then continue back later on, later, like in the next academic year? And on top of that, I also have questions like for if I suspend, does it affect my grade or my chance to graduate? Yes, so that's my question. Thank
Okay,
you.
right. Yes, right. Thank you very much, Anita. All right, so you're gonna be able to complete the first semester, and yeah, you want to suspend the second, all right, semester, right? So the thing is, right, the thing is, we will have to, look into your case, right? We will need to, see your reasons, why you need to suspend, right, and work out whether or not, your case could be approved, right? But let's say if you're allowed, to suspend, that means there's not going to be any problem, on your results, on your performance, right, when you come back, right, because we already, allow you to take the suspension. Okay, so that means you still can graduate, but later, right, that means, you can graduate, after your friends, in the same cohort, who finish before you. Okay, but yes, right, we will need to discuss first, right? We will need to understand, your situation and see whether or not, your case could be approved. All right, yeah, on based on what uh, situation you have, right? Thank you. Okay, right. Do we have any other questions? Yes, please, Chitra.
Good afternoon, lecturer.
Yes, good afternoon, Chitra.
I may have missed some part of your presentation, but may I ask where can I find the study schedule for PC student this semester?
Okay, right. Thank you, Chitra, for your question. Regarding the timetable, of your class, right? Your PC class, that should be updated soon, right? So you can wait for the announcement on our Facebook page, right? Yes, right. So yeah, please, yeah, keep yourself updated with our Facebook page, right? Yes. Okay. Yes, please.
Excuse me, sir. So, can you hear me clearly, teacher?
Yes, I can.
Yes. So, teacher, I want to ask you regarding the classroom assignment, because
Mm.
normally when we pay the school fee, we will be informed about our classroom assignment, but this time we haven't been informed. So, I just want to ask, when will it be, published or informed to the student?
Okay, that's gonna happen very soon, right? Very soon, because you're gonna start next week, and you should find it out this week, right?
Yes. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, yes, right. Yeah, because we have some problems, with the student registration, with the number of classes we have, which is why, we were not able to, work on those things, with a lot of time left before the start of the year class next week. Okay, so you will get to know about that very soon, right? Before your class next week. Okay, right. So do we have any other questions? Okay, Navin, right? Yes.
Teacher, the class, hold on, the class commence no ថ្ងៃ3ហ្នឹងអាហ្នឹងយើងទៅ school តាមម៉ោង like shift របស់យើងឬមួយទៅពេលព្រឹកគ្រប់គ្នា teacher.
Okay, right. Based on your shift, right? Your class shift, right? So if you choose to start in the morning, yes, you only come in the morning. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So all right. Maybe yes. The last question then from Manirod. Yes.
Yeah, teacher. Thank you so much for your speech today. And I have a question regarding to the student attendance. Like we have 2 weeks on campus and 2 weeks online. So regarding to attendance, I mean like if some student they get infected by COVID-19 during the campus, so they have to ask for permission. So the permission here, like they will affect their attendance or they will get some sort of special treatment.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. So in that case, that means you have to apply for long leave, okay? Because with COVID-19, right, you probably need at least 3 or 4 days, to recover, right? So you don't have to fill in the long leave request, right, and submit it to me, okay? After you recover, right? After you test negative, right? So you can come to school, right? Fill in the form and drop it in front of room E1.3. Okay, but also don't forget the supporting documents, right? Some sort of documents from the doctors to show that you really got tested positive, right, with COVID-19. All right, and then in that case, right, your attendance will still be deducted, but to a very minimum percentage, right, compared to you being absent without leave for several days, right, which your teachers will deduct the attendance percentage, like I showed you earlier, like 7.5%, right, 5%, right, for some subjects, okay, per day. But when you apply for long leave, the percentage, that your attendance will be deducted is much less than that, okay? So still, right, deducted, but a lot less.
Yeah, thank you, teacher. Teacher also like when someone in our class like get infected by the COVID, so the other people that sitting around sitting near them near her or he, so should we do the testing also or it's not required?
Okay. All right, thank you. So for your own safety, right, you probably want to do the testing, if you know that your friends, is COVID-19 positive, right? We don't really make that as a policy requiring those sitting around that student to also test themselves, okay? Which is why right now, even though you come back on campus, we still require each and every one of you to put on your mask, right, and try to protect yourself as much as possible, okay, as much as possible, okay. But we cannot, I believe we cannot go back to the time when COVID-19 was new. It's like when we know that someone is COVID-19 positive and then we close down the whole area, all right, or we get everyone to test. We won't go to that direction again, but yes, for your own safety, probably you want to test yourself, if you know that your friend is COVID-19 positive, right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, teacher.
Yes. Okay, right. So thank you very much. So here comes the the ending part of our orientation. So I would like now to invite Dr. Gurjanerit to close the orientation today. So Dr. Gurjanerit, right, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Pirun. Thank you for the detail in your explanation. So I hope everyone of you are aware of some important information about the year 4 graduations here. So let me recall for the year 4 academic study for semester 1, we still have supplementary exam. So you still have a chance to have the supplementary exam. For the second semester, you don't have chance. So no supplementary exam will be given to year 4 students semester 2. And in the semester 2, we have some subject for second semester exam, and some subject will be administered as the final examination. For last year, we had for the B.Ed program, we have teaching methodology, TM, and second language acquisition as the final examination, the subject for final examination. For the PC, we have AE and communication skill for the final examination. For IB, we have IB1 and CM for the final examination. For TI, translation in interpreting, we have TI1 and CM subject. So this information is to get you to be aware of what you gonna do to achieve your graduation in the academic year. We want everybody to be informed at the beginning. So again, year 1, semester 1, you have semester examination and supplementary examination, okay, to give the second chance to those students who fail in semester 1. In semester 2, there is no supplementary exam. So the whole exam is divided by will be divided by 2, the semester exam with some subject and the final exam with some subjects. So the 2 exams will be administered in 2 different weeks. Okay, right. And yeah, I'd like again to thank you very much for your attention. We have almost 400 students here, year 4 students here in the meeting today, and hopefully that we can be working together to achieve the outcomes later. So for the students who want to apply for the honors program, the information will be disseminated to you soon, and another orientation to the honors program will be given later soon too. Okay, everyone, so thank you very much, and thank again for your valuable time and your comments and questions. So I wish you all the best for the new academic year and all the success for your graduation. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, Pirun, do you have any words?
Yes, thank you, Lucru, and thank you everyone for your participation here today. Just adding a little bit to what Guru just mentioned earlier about the year owner program, BEd owner program. Yes, there will be a separate orientation about that, and some of you might be interested in applying for that one. Okay, so I'll disseminate the information about the time, right, which the orientation will be held. Okay, if it's of interest to some of you. Yes, and yes, right, that's the end of our orientation today. See you on campus next week. Right, all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Thank you, teacher, and goodbye.
Goodbye, Chair. I love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, teacher.
Yes, goodbye.
Goodbye, teacher.